Hi, we're here in downtown Edison, Washington. Usually beautiful, a little bit overcast right now. We're going to look at the Margaret Davidson exhibit at IE Gallery. This exhibit is titled Home. So let's step inside. I will try and hold this as steady as possible. Let's do a quick overview as we usually do. This is an amazing exhibit of a local favorite, Margaret Davidson. Amazing artist. She works in colored pencil as her main media. And when I say local, she's really right here in the Skagit Valley on Fur Island. Let's start with this first piece on the wall. This piece is called Buttoned Home. It's colored pencil and rag paper. I'm going to give you quite a bit of backstory here. It's the first time Margaret has done a three-dimensional construction on her drawings. In the Skagit Valley here, we had some rough flooding in the winter of 2025, and Margaret had to leave her home for 3 days. She wasn't flooded, but the Fur Island area had to be evacuated. On her return, this was the piece she first made. Margaret is back to her buttons. She has a reputation for her ability to draw humble household objects and make them very exceptional. And as I said, her medium is colored pencil normally. So in thinking about home, when she got home again, the home became more than her physical home, but also the home of her neighborhood, her community, and eventually the larger universe, which is our home. And this piece is entitled 6827.5. That reference is about dark energy, dark matter, and all that we perceive. 3 different categories. So that's going to be kind of a theme that goes through this show a little bit. I'm going to come back to that. Let's keep moving through the work right now. Also another beauty, button intervals. And that's on a light gray rag paper. Margaret actually does lay these buttons out and draws them as if they were still lives. So you can imagine she's collected quite a few buttons. People have given her buttons over the years. She has gone through periods of not drawing buttons, but eventually it seems that she comes back to them. This piece appears to be more about the golden mean and the ratio. We've got small, maybe 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 intervals between buttons. This piece is called Reflection. These are small each. 19 by 15 is the drawing size. And then the partner piece to the first piece we saw on this wall. This is called Everybody's Home. We've gone off into the universe here after being first in a one little house on Fur Island. A gorgeous piece. This is also a constructed three-dimensional house sitting out, which Margaret said was a very difficult thing for her to make. Looking at the Milky Way, the universe, she has splattered. Let me slow down so that gets in focus. Flicked the background with these tiny, they've got little tiny bits of paint from flicking. The larger stars are hand-drawn. Inside the house, we see buttons. Let me see if I can get an angle. Okay, you're gonna just have to trust me on that. Beautiful piece. Let's go over to Alan's Prime buttons. This piece, a friend of hers, Alan Moe, gave her these buttons that were still attached to the cards. These were his mother's buttons. These look so familiar to some people in my age group. These are just drawn as a kind of a still life floating. And of course, Margaret notices that they're all prime numbers that are on these, that are attached to these button cards. So it's called Alan's Prime buttons. We're going to walk over to this major piece. This tells a lot about the whole exhibit. It is The Universe So Far, which is a wonderful title. Margaret's I'll tell you in a minute what I'm thinking. I have to get this camera still. So these are 4 by 4 inches each one of these little blocks. And they are gator board with some nice rag paper attached to the top. And then Margaret draws on each one of these individually. You can see different arrangements of buttons. You'll notice that some of these are all in the grays and neutrals on black. That is what she is calling the dark energy. Comme ça, like this. There are some that are colored buttons on black. Margaret refers to those as dark matter. This is the composition of our universe. And the 5%, which is on white paper, let's get a good picture. There's a lot of reflection for some reason right now. Let's go down here. This is what we actually perceive. So out of this entire composition of the universe, it's a visual example of how little we can actually perceive in this whole universe of 5%. These we sell individually, but they're together, there are 10 rows, 10 by 10. So as one piece, it's that would be 46 inches by 46 inches, almost 4 feet by 4 feet. It's lovely to see it in person and know what it represents, and the gorgeous drawing on these button pieces. The next piece we have is an older piece from a couple years ago. This is actually one of the only, I think, older pieces in the show. It's called Button Contraspirals. We're picking up some reflection. you'll see in the center, she has got some paper where the buttons are drawn on marbleized paper or marbleizing on paper. She bought the paper that way. You can see where they meet, the marbleizing with just traditional. This is all handmade paper by Mary Ashton, the gray paper. So it's not only like lights up in the middle there somewhat because of the values, but it's also an interesting juxtaposition of marbling, which is supposedly a fluid, random movement, with the spirals, which supposedly are not fluid and not random, but we'll find out more when she comes to talk on Saturday. This piece is remarkable. It's called the Button Nest. The hands are done with carbon dust. And Margaret Davidson has told me that that's how medical illustrations used to be done. You know, I didn't notice the ring on the finger back there until just today. So it's, there's no liquid applied, it's dust with a brush. Make Margaret's hands, it's a stencil made of her hands, and then the carbon dust is filtered through there. And then she hand brushes with the carbon dust. On top of that, there's some Japanese paper that has been manipulated and cut to make that nest image. And then, of course, there's the hand-drawn buttons. This is the final 3D piece she's done for this exhibit. It's gorgeous. I hope we get to see more of that. Let's skip over to the back side of this wall, which has a beautifully complex piece called Deep Time No. 1. Let's see if I can get any detail here. The middle of this drawing has been manipulated with not a sharp object, like a blunt metal, to form a kind of a inverted or cone going inward. From there, the spirals come out, the lines come out, and it becomes, I'm not sure what, but it is something to do with time and spirals and energy, and of course buttons. Let's go over to this piece here, and it's that's a beautiful blue that's on that back, the one we just looked at, and it is all color pencil. We're going to go to this one, which is not quite all black and white. There's a little bit of a beige tone, flesh tones in there. This piece is gorgeous. It's called Dark Matter, Dark Energy No. 4. It's on gray rag paper, and it's about 26 inches high and about 34 inches across. So this was done about 3 years ago. It's Chinese ink, which she's built up this texture, this gorgeous texture on the back with a Chinese ink and all those little markings. Let's get those buttons in focus. That's kind of hard to do. Again, we have 1/3, we have the percentages, I think, somehow again here. I don't know exactly how she's got it on here. Dark matter, dark energy, the balance. Oh, I see. It's possibly that 27% versus the 68%. I'm coming across a lot of questions to ask her at her talk on Saturday. We're going to skip right over this one and go over to the one here. Gorgeous, again, button ocean. This is a rare time when I see Margaret working with watercolor. And below that, I'm going to cover it up because we've got one here that's not under glass, and so it'll really be able to see it. Very complex, beautiful piece called Dark Matter, Dark Energy, number 1. Let's go down here. This also has the ink. You can see the ink in the middle, almost black hole-like, and there's almost a button-shaped circle. I'm sorry, I'm trying to avoid my shadow. There's a button-shaped circle in the middle, or rather round, circular shape in the middle. This is a remarkable piece. I wish we had it up on the walls, but we could put it up. But we didn't want to put it under glass right now. And this is, again, I think we're looking at about 24 by maybe 30, 32. Let's leave these buttons behind and go to a more traditional kind of still life. Again, all colored pencil. This is called 6 Plastic Elephants. Margaret collected these elephants, found them, put them with some Kahinte cloth, and has done this amazing drawing. She gets so much texture out of these colored pencils. It's amazing. So we also have a few of her older pieces in the gallery right now. We have the piece that she did. She actually did the piece first, and then it was put on the cover of a poetry book by Jessica As You Go. And it's just an amazing exhibit, and I hope you get to see it. And Margaret is one of the great treasures of the Skagit Valley. She'll be here to give a talk on Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. Always a treat, a lot of fun, and fascinating person. So we hope we get to see you then. Thank you.